Hi there and welcome back to my channel. In the last episode, I've shown you how to properly check in a guest reservation where an initial room charge is initially recorded to the bill of the guest. By the way, I've changed my notebook title to guest bill so that right away after checking in, the customer will know the balance, okay, the starting balance of his stay in the hotel. Now, in this episode, I'm going to show you a very important functionality that should be present in all hotels. It's conflict resolution of scheduling of rooms. No? Basically, no, when you schedule a reservation or a registration, you have to check whether it has an existing conflict or not. Otherwise, uh, two or more guests will be able to reserve to one room, which is not allowed in any hotel. In this episode, I'm going to do that using another PostgreSQL function. The advantage of using the PostgreSQL function is uh, it deloads our Odoo server uh, the task of checking the resolution. It passes the load to the highly capable PostgreSQL server. And we had a very special functionality there for checking conflict of dates and times. It's called overlap, which will make your code a lot simpler, okay, and much easier to read. Now, let me introduce you to that uh, conflict resolution function. Okay, uh, you have it here now. I'm going to upload this in the GitHub repository indicated below. It's called Hotel Check Registration Conflict, where we pass the registration ID and the company ID, because we know that this application of ours is a multi-company or multi-hotel. Okay, from the registration ID, we are going to get the schedule and the room. Okay? So therefore, we have the following local variables. The schedule is will be fetched into the variables date from and v date to, and the room ID will be fetched into v room ID. A variable called conflict exists will be returned as 1 or 0 or true or false, depending on whether a conflict exists or not. Okay. First, we are going to fetch the room ID, the date, the schedule of the the stay, date from, sched, date to, sched, into the variables vroom ID, vdate from, and vdate to, from hotel registration where the ID is the given registration ID. Okay. After fetching the schedule, we now are going to execute a select statement. We are going to retrieve all reservations that are in reserved and check-in date as state, no? Because they can be the source of draft registrations cannot be a source of conflict. No? So registrations which are reserved and checked in, and where ID is not equal to this registration ID, it's because of course the registration ID will have conflict with its own schedule. No, that's why we are eliminating those registrations that are other than this registration. Okay. Now there's a very important function in PostgreSQL called overlaps. Okay, it's a function that you can use to check if there's an overlapping of dates between two periods, a date from and a date to. Okay, so we are comparing it from the date from and the date to schedule of reserved and check-in registrations to the current date from and date to of this registration. If we find one, uh, it means that a conflict exists. We don't need to find as many. So that's why we have a select one. We only need to find one. If one exists, then uh, uh, a conflict exists. And then we are going to return a query. Okay, one for a conflict and zero for no conflict and a message. So therefore, this is going to be returned as an array. Remember, no? And we are going to paste this into our pgadmin so that we can have the function there, run it, and then we are going to, since there is a select function with a where statement, this table could get very large anyway. We are going to create an index to aid the conflict resolution search, an index on hotel guest registration based on company ID and room ID and state. How do we know the fields? Basically, when you're optimizing a select statement, you are going to base your index fields according to the where condition. So in this case, the where condition is company ID, room ID, and state. You are making a company ID so that we will have a shorter list and a faster selection or retrieval process. So we have this where condition, and so we create this index. Okay. Now let's go back to our guest registration.py. We are going to make a function, okay, a function for checking of availability of rooms, which we are going to use as the action of a button which we will put in our web page. I already have that ready, so I'm just going to copy it anyway. So to save time, okay. So there it is. Let me just copy this. We'll put it as at the bottom of our get registration.py. Okay. So let's go to guest registration.py, go to the bottom, and paste the function. I'm going to explain this very shortly. Okay. So look at that. No, what it does is just to call the function that we've created. Of course, there's that usual check of validations like correct guests, correct room, correct schedule, and so on and so forth. No? And after that, we are going to get the registration ID, which is the primary key of this ID. Okay. We have a special function called ensure one. We are going to use this later to update our other actions. No? Ensure one is a Python function which will rather udo function which will convert the list, okay, that is returned by this model into the first record. Therefore, we no longer have to call self.rec because ensure one will convert self into a record. So instead of calling self.rec, we say self get guest ID because this is now only a single record. Okay, of course with several fields. Okay, so self.id is the registration ID, the primary key, and company ID is the company ID, the current ID that is being used as a company. No? And then, as usual, we are going to use that cr.end.cr execute. No? Self.end. Okay. And remember is our global environment. Okay, which stores the current ID. So we are doing that because we are going to pass it as parameter to the function check registration conflict. No, so the first is the primary key and the company ID. We have it here. Okay, so that these are the parameters. Okay, and then result will result the since we are using fetch one is like ensure one. You know, this will convert the array into the list into our one record. Incidentally, one record here has two fields. Okay, the first is the count, the second is the message. So when you say if result, this means that result is not null, which means a result has been fetched. We only need one result. If result is zero, there's no conflict. Okay, let's check that. Let's check that up. Yes, when result is zero, there's no conflict. So therefore, when result is zero, we are going to return a window action. Remember, we have discussed window actions before. A window action is indicated by the type ir.actions.client. Okay, what will it do? It's identified by the tag. It's going to display a notification. It can also reload the page. Remember, and we are going to pass parameters to the notification using the params property. Okay, the title of which is will be availability check. This will be the message that will be displayed, and the type is a success. No, it will have an indicator, and sticky is false, which means that it will just stay there for a moment and then will slowly disappear. No, okay, it will not have an OK button. It will just stay there. It will have an close button anyway. No, uh, else we are going to show a validation error. Okay, Why are we not using a validation error here? Because it's inappropriate. A validation error will display a validation tag. So the user may lead to think that there's an error, but there's no error. So therefore, we are just going to return a window action that will return a notification. Okay? And then, let's go to our guest registration.xml, particularly the header. Okay? The header of our, no, where we of our page where we put the buttons. We are going to include a button for check availability. Okay, I'm just going to copy the button. I've already have it prepared. So this is button action check availability. The same name of the Python action, okay, that is saved in registration.py. Okay, so we know that actions with the same name as buttons are associated to each other. No? Now this will be visible only if the state is draft and the state is reserved. Okay, so now let's try this. Let's run this. Let's save all. Let's stop our server. Let's have a clear. Now, remember I have introduced you to the dash u parameter, which will allow us to update the hotel app without going into update app list and upgrading the hotel right away again. Okay, so therefore we're just going to open. We're going to refresh this. Okay, let's look at the guest registrations. So we have for room 101 we have a check-in from April 2 to April 10, and on April 11 we have to April 25 we'll have another guest registration. Okay, now let's try to create a new reservation on the same room. Shall we say a different guest on room 101? Okay, and a box of one, and then yeah, shall we say up to April 8? Okay, we know that this. Let's save this, and we click check availability. I have indicated two buttons, but anyway, I'm going to remove one of them because maybe I've created it before. Yes, let me just remove it. Okay. So let me update it again. Let's refresh this. Now we only have one check availability. Let's click this. We missed the one with the correct icon, so we'll put an icon. I think if it's FA calendar, it will show anyway. Icon was FA calendar. It has the same as the as reservation. This one. Just copy this. It's already there. You just press the tab. Okay, and then of course we're going to save this. Stop it, and then run it again. I hope it's reflected right away. We'll just refresh the page. Okay, there's the icon. So we check the availability. It produces an error. Okay. Now, if we are going to, we know that the room is reserved until April 8. Okay. April 25. Okay, 25. So therefore, let's change this registration to April 26. Okay, April 26 to April 30. Okay, we'll save this and check availability. Now, the room schedule is available for selected dates. Okay, now it will just disappear because it's sticky calls false. after that. Now, if not, you can also click the X button there. So that's a special facility. Okay. Anyway, uh, let's update this into our check-in and reserve action. Okay. Anyway, I've already updated it. Okay. Check-in and reservation will not be allowed if there's a conflict. Okay, let me show you that one. No. So in reservation, we have almost the same functionality. So action reserve. So we have that exactly the same. No. It will fetch for the FN check registration conflict, and then will return a notification. Otherwise, it will return a result. Now in check-in, it's slightly different. Okay, because we will only do that uh, after the valid checks are done. Okay, aside from doing a check registration, we also are going to check in the guest so that the corresponding room charge will be reflected in the bill. So we have to do this. Okay, first we are going to check for conflict. Now we have result, because result here is fetch 1 and result 0 is 0. Okay, so this is how it's stated. If result, which means that there's a result, and result 0 is 0, the count is 0. Okay, and so we are going to after finding out that the room is vacant, we are going to reflect the to check in the guest so that he will have the first uh, room charge for that day, and then we will return a notification error. Okay, so that's the same thing, and I have enhanced my check-in to add other validation checks, such that you cannot check out of a previous period. Okay, you only check out either before the period or right on the date of the scheduled checkout. You also cannot check in, okay, before the scheduled date. Okay, so I've included that, no, because like checkout, you cannot check out after the scheduled date. You cannot also check in before the scheduled check-in. Okay, so that's a very important function. Okay, conflict resolution, that's now included in our hotel system. In the next episode, I'm going to show you how to further add other charges and record payments from customers, no, during their in the duration of their stay. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.